believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Realize Your Power, where we give you tips, tools, and advice to give you your power. I'm your host, Sade Burrell, and I'm just really excited to be here with you today. Thank you for tuning in. Let's dive right into this one, all right? So this topic is a topic that I often run into, but I often run into it when I'm either speaking with someone one-on-one or I'm at an event and I was asked to speak at the event. And usually I'm sitting in the audience whenever I'm asked to speak. And I'm sitting around the people at my table and we're talking and laughing and just having a good time. And they have no idea that I'm the speaker of the event, usually. Or if I'm speaking with someone one-on-one and we've seen each other a few times, we've passed each other by, but we've never really spoken to each other. And we sit down for that first initial conversation where we just go deep. And this is what I noticed that happens. And it might actually happen to you too. So if you're one of those people and it happens to you, great. But if you're one of the people who I'm getting ready to describe, great too. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to handle both situations. So I was at an event not too long ago, and when I'm at the event, I was sitting there at the table, I'm laughing and joking with everyone. We're having a great time. As we're having a great time, everyone's waiting for the keynote speaker to come up there and speak, and so they introduce the keynote speaker, they say all these wonderful things about the person, and then I get up and I go, and the people at my table are looking like, what the heck, where's she going? And they don't realize right then that I'm the keynote speaker until I grab the mic. So then I grab the mic and I do my thing on the mic and everyone claps and I go sit down. And I never forget this because it happens so often and it made me think about it. The lady said, I had no clue who I was sitting next to. Like I really had no idea who I was sitting next to. And she wasn't saying like, oh, I'm sitting next to, somebody, a millionaire, because I'm far from a millionaire. But she wasn't saying that. She was just saying, after hearing my testimony, after hearing me speak, after hearing the words, after feeling the presence of the words that I spoke, she said, oh, man, like it was a powerful person sitting at my table, and I didn't catch it. And sometimes people become upset, actually, when they don't catch it. And I try to encourage them not to get upset because you don't know who you're sitting next to. You never know. Or if you're working with someone and you don't know their story, their testimony, what they've been through, and you find out and you're like, whoa, how do you come to work every day? How do you show up to class? How do you do these things knowing all this is going on? Now, I don't want you to think that you have to have some dramatic story in order for people to respect you or in order for people to look up to you, because that's not true either. But imagine if people knew what you were going through on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. If they knew, how would they treat you? Some people gain more respect for you. They're like, I cannot believe you show up every day. Some people will just have a sense of gratitude towards you. They'll want to help you more. They want to be of service to you because you've been of service to so many with so many things going on, good and bad. Doesn't mean it has to be a bad situation all the time. So what does this have to do with you, right? So it's two types of people. You have the person who is the one who's like, oh my goodness, you're such a powerful person. And then you have the person who's saying those words to that person. So of course, as the person who is receiving those words, you got to remain humble, and you don't want to be, I did it and I show up every day. Because it's this old saying that the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. And so, of course, if you're receiving those, you want to constantly remain humble and just say, and they say, how do you do it? A lot of people, when they ask me, how do you go on with life with all the things that you've been through, all the things that you're going through now? And I tell them, I don't have a choice but to do it. I give myself no other option. So I don't just say, you know what, not today, I'm not going to do it. There's no other choice but for me to do it. And if you set yourself to that standard where there's no other choice, there's no other option, I absolutely have to do it, then it'll happen. It'll get done. You have to think, what's the worst that can happen? You have to put your own punishment attached to it. If it doesn't happen, what will happen to you? What are the consequences? So that's one for the person who receives it. Now let me give the person who walks up to the person and they're like, I had no clue who you were. I had no clue you went through this. It's just my tip to you. You have to treat everybody like they are the most important person in the world. And the reason why you want to treat them like that is because you never know who you're sitting next to. You could be sitting next to a millionaire, a billionaire, a pastor, somebody who can give you advice, someone who you've been praying for, somebody who you've just been, oh, I just need a little help starting this. But if I had that person, but if you don't talk to people, you don't treat them a certain way, you're not going to get that person in your life, because you never know who you're talking to, who you're sitting next to, who you're working with, who you're grinding. You don't know. And the fact that you don't know should be enough motivation for you to treat everybody as if they have something to not only give you, but you have something to give to them. It's a reciprocal relationship. It's not one way, right? So then, of course, I mentioned this earlier. You need to be humble about your power. The power that's inside of you. You know, this whole entire podcast is about giving you back your power. When you receive your power, you have to remain humble. You have to remain in a sense of servitude. And servitude is you're giving more than you're receiving. Because the more you give, of course, the more it has to come back to you. People see you working hard, and they see you working harder for others than you are for yourself. And they say, hey, I want to take you out to dinner. And you're like, oh, okay, you thinking Denny's or IHOP. They're like, no, I want to take you to Ruth Chris. I want to take you to somewhere where if you dare looked at the menu, matter of fact, I want to take you somewhere where they don't have prices on the menu, because if they have a price on there, it would scare some people. Like, not knowing the price, it doesn't bother a certain bracket of people, because it doesn't matter. They can pay for it. That's what you want to get to. Serving others so much that one day someone will and willing to serve you, right? All right. So you're like, all right, that all sounds good and all, but what's the purpose of me doing all this stuff? Well, here's the last tip I have for you. You need to connect with these people who, once you discover that it's something unique about them, something special, and you just need to be around that, you need to connect. I cannot tell you how often after an event I speak and people walk up to me and they say, oh my goodness, wow, that was so powerful of you. And I never hear from them again. I put my email, I put every way possible for someone to get in contact with me. I put it on the screen so that they can see it. I give it out. Like, contact me after this, because the worst thing as a speaker that you can do is speak and they never hear from you again. Nobody reaches out. Hardly anybody reaches out. That's your opportunity to reach out. Now, I believe a lot of people don't reach out because they're like, oh, I know they're busy. They're such a powerful person. They have to be busy. And sometimes that's not true. Sometimes you just need to take your chances and reach out. For me personally, the people who go out of their way to reach out to me after I'm done speaking, after we're done meeting, talking, and I give you a card or I give you my number so that we could connect and we could talk about the subject matters deeper. For me, I will make myself available. Why? Because you made yourself available. So just to recap everything, remember, you want to speak to everyone as if they are the CEO, as if they are, the most important person in the world, because you never know who you're sitting next to. You need to be humble about the power that you possess, that you have. And the last tip was you need to connect after the event with the person who you felt was powerful. You don't know what type of friendship will come from connecting with people. So that's my tips, tools, and advice for today. And I'm strongly encouraging you all to take back your power, to take back your life, and to be the person you were meant to be. Be that person in the room where everybody's like, wow, you are powerful. You don't go around looking for sympathy. You don't go around looking for anything, but you're always here every day and you give. You are a powerful person. You're powerful beyond measure. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Realize Your Power, where we give you tips, tools, and advice. We strongly encourage you to check out the website, SadeBurrell.com. We got a lot of free information on there. We got a lot of free stuff on there. We looking forward to connecting with you. Have a great one. And remember, take back your power. Sade Burrell. Have a great day.